Hey YouTube, this is Renautas1 here, and I'm here to review Heroes episode 4. So yeah, let's get started. My hair's a bit of a mess. So in this episode, we have Noah and basically his sidekick, convince Erica's daughter to help them break into her mother's, into the pharmaceutical, facility. We also have Carlos, and they break into the pharmaceutical building, in order to go retrieve Molly and break her out. We also have Carlos's story, basically seeing Carlos basically beginning to build like this Batman-esque persona. He's like beginning to start thinking about how he can adapt like superhuman strength onto his various gadgets, and the problem is that he's being more gadget driven than he is actually being the man in the costume. So you kind of have this mindset where it's all about the gadgets and not about the actual man being the hero. You also have the two Evo hunting killers have this split up because the Joanne finds out that her husband is an Evo. So she leaves off in a very, very weird way, and she heads off. And then finally you have Tommy, who is easily one of my favourite characters on the show right now. And he's basically trying to save his mother. And then finally we have Katana Girl, who's basically trying to get into pharmaceutical. Honestly, this episode felt very, very short, and not a lot happened. It's revealed that all of these heroes, and all of this stuff appears to be related somehow to like this Avatar-esque hero, named, I want to say Malina, and basically Malina can basically do like the whole Avatar thing, and seems to be able to control elements or something. I'm not actually too sure what her powers are, but everything seems to connect to this one individual, and basically it appears that the war between pharmaceutical and the Evos basically relates somehow to this one child individual. And basically the heroes have to try and stop, pharmaceutical from basically destroying 7 billion people on the planet. Yeah, a lot of this feels like X-Men, and a lot of it feels very, very used. And this obviously isn't the first instance where we've seen this kind of story play out. Like, you only literally have to watch Days of Future Past and you have this exact same story. And again, my problem is with this episode is that it seems very, very short, and again, not a lot is happening. You know, there's not enough here to be, you know, that kept me engaged. I found it quite sad that they killed off Molly Walker. I really wanted this character to actually be part of the Heroes group, because her and Tommy were actually one of my favourites, and I did think it would have been really, really interesting to see a Heroes character from the first generation actually appear in this generation of Heroes and actually be a part of the team that saves the world. I just think that would have been very, very interesting. And she does die a very, very heroic death, but I don't think her death accomplished very much. And I think for a character who we did see in the first season, and we saw her right up until the third season, I felt as if we should have seen more of her, and her actually be someone very, very important. For example, she was one of the characters who obviously, you know, was part of that Cerebro project last episode. So she obviously was a very, very valuable part of finding this avatar individual. And I felt like her dying didn't really accomplish what I think the character could have accomplished. So yeah. Tommy, I thought was good. The whole Carlos, character, I kind of see where they're going. I kind of see the fact that, Carlos is supposed to be, like, turning into this Batman-esque character. Like, he has the Batcave, there was a bit of a sidekick moment. The problem is, I'm not really too sure where that story is going and what the point of that story is. Like, he was supposed to be part of this underground railroad, but he doesn't seem to be doing that. And again, I'm just not particularly too sure what the point of his character is. I found Katana Girl and her other person very, very cute. I think easily I could see these two people in a couple. I don't know if that's possible in I want to say Japanese culture, but I really, really liked their relationship. They had a great, great dynamic. So yeah, all in all, this episode was kind of very, oh yeah, and the one thing I haven't mentioned is I haven't mentioned Zachary Levi and his story. I don't like Joanne. I liked how they were introduced. but I still don't get them. And I think I can say that across the board. I don't get a lot of these characters. They're not really fleshed out enough. In Heroes Season 1, a lot of these characters, yes, were starting out, but there was a really, really interesting foundation that they were being built from. Like, for example, Peter Petrelli, you know, for example, Peter Petrelli was, you know, was a great character to follow, you know, and he was going through that hero's journey, and Claire was, you know, struggling, and, you know, and we saw these characters have some kind of interesting foundation. I mean, you only have to look at Nikki and Jessica from Season 1, and that storyline was really, really interesting. You saw Nikki, you know, and you saw Nikki have that split personality disorder, which was very interesting to follow. None of these characters have that. They don't have an interesting foundation that they're built from. So unfortunately you have a lot of characters that built to be interesting. They're just shells of characters gone by. So yeah. Can't really say I enjoyed this episode particularly. But stay tuned for episode 5. I'm Renautas1 here, and I shall see you very soon for the next one. Bye.